Howdy folks, October 2024 is over and it's time to take a look at the best Fallout 4 mods from that month. I'm kinda disappointed as most of the mods in this month were weapon mods. Anyway, there are still some other mods too. Let's start with all the weapon mods first. Starting with the Deagle 50DE. On paper, it's a simple Deagle mod and to be honest, it is. But what makes it different are the super satisfying animations and the akimbo versions. The akimbo versions are super powerful and the animations are just out of this world. There are also two unique variants, one golden and another one is engraved. Now from here on out, I won't mention that you can customize these guns because most of them you can. Only if some weapon has very unique customization option, I will mention it. The Wattz 3000 Mark II laser gun is brought back from the classic games, but it's still like 3 weapons in one as you can turn it into a rifle from a pistol through customization. The animations and textures are also nice. The unique variants are also very cool, ranging from a normal laser to even gauze and plasma variants. The vanilla laser weapons were always very underwhelming. Don't get me wrong, the sounds were severely improved from New Vegas, but there is almost no variety. Even the Institute rifles look like slightly modified versions of normal laser weapons, and that might have something to do with the lore, but it's definitely not eye-pleasing. So having these completely unique looking weapons in this game is definitely a treat. And the sad part is, these are designs from the earlier games. Truth be told, Fallout 1, 2 and New Vegas had more weapon variety than 3 and 4. I haven't played 76, so I don't know if things have improved for that game. Anyway, rant aside, this is less of a single weapon and more of a weapon pack, and I highly recommend it. The Smith & Wesson R8 Revolver is a highly customizable revolver that is decent in its normal form, but absolutely unstoppable in its gauze form. You can charge the gauze revolver for extra damage, but in my opinion, just firing repeatedly gives the best result. Also, the weapons look fire and it's definitely getting points for that. The HK MP7A2 is a shredder. It shreds anything in its path with high fire rate and insane damage, and that's only the base version. The upgraded version will take down Swan in 3 seconds. The weapon looks decent, sounds decent, and animations are great too. MW 2019 Dragunov recreates the said weapon beautifully in this game, with satisfying firing animations. To be honest, all of them have that, that's why they are in this list. In the vanilla game, the snipers aren't really that great. You only have one quote-unquote sniper rifle, but even that's a bolt-action rifle. You could count the railway rifle and the syringer as snipers, but they are more unique weapons, so having an actual sniper in this game with this one is great. Of course, you can always use a close range scope if you want it for medium range, but you can't change the fire rate, which I think is a good thing because if you could just use it as an automatic rifle, it would just mix with all of the other modded weapons. All in all, it's a great recreation and deserves all the praise. The Smith & Wesson 44 Magnum revolver is not really a new weapon, but a remake of 44 revolver from the base game. It has new animations not only for reloading but for sprinting, recoil and even just holding the gun. There are also a lot more attachments. I don't like the matte black color scheme though, I prefer the vanilla look over it. This next one is an actual weapon pack. In the vanilla game you can just turn the combat rifle into anything, and although that's great, it also lacks visual variety. This mod adds 4 weapons that act as individual customization variants of the combat rifle. So you have a medium range rifle, a sniper, an assault rifle and an SMG. The SMG especially is really satisfying and also looks most different from the other weapons. Of course, all these weapons are customizable and the assault rifle has even a unique variant. If you are sick with the base game combat rifle, I highly recommend it. Now the Grease Gun Mark III is not really the 9mm SMG from Fallout New Vegas, but it's very similar both in looks and in gameplay. Also, can anyone tell me why there's that weird metal sticking out of the side of the gun? Anyway, I don't really have too much to say about this mod. The customization is pretty decent and the gun looks pretty authentic. Authentic to what? I don't really know. And for the final weapon today, we have the AML-75 missile launcher. This is actually the most unique weapon of them all. The animations are kinda robotic, but the weapon doesn't have any bugs, at least I didn't encounter any. Now the base version of this weapon is pretty weak, it does barely any damage, so I recommend upgrading the weapon as soon as you can. With all those weapon mods out of the way, we start with two very similar mods from the same author. JP's Fire and Smoke replaces the outdated effects from the vanilla game with newer, more natural looking ones. JP's Frost and Shock on the other hand affects the cryo and spark effects. The cryo effect looks really great, especially on bushes, but the sparks are decent too. Of course, cryo on the NPCs still look very unnatural, but that might have something to do with the engine itself. Put Your Gun In is a very simple mod that makes you holster your equipped weapons when you quick switch. In the vanilla game, these weapons just pop out, which doesn't look natural, and this mod fixes that issue. Harbor Bee Monorail adds a monorail from the castle to Spectacle Island. There's a monorail station and everything, and in the evening the lights turn on automatically, giving the station a very familiar atmosphere. The monorail also has all the sounds of a metro, like the alarms when the door closes, and even an announcement when it reaches Spectacle Island.
Spectacle Island.
I was thinking of an idea. It might be very hard to do, but what if there was a rail system throughout the whole Commonwealth if some mod added it? I know it would be a lot of hard work, but I just thought it would be a cool thing if this happened. Armored Core Automatrons add Armored Core mechs as functional automatrons. Now, I have never played a mech game in my life. Maybe Titanfall counts, but nothing else. So I can't comment on how accurate they are with the actual game, but they have some absolute shredding equipment and are even more dangerous than the vanilla automatrons. Next is Pre-War Sanctuary Hills Vault. This mod recreates the pre-war sanctuary inside a new vault near the robotic disposal ground beside the small river. Now there's not a whole lot to talk about, it's just a replica of Sanctuary. There's not much furniture here, mostly because it's also an workshop area, so you can decorate this place however you want. You can't for some reason build anything on the road, but other than that, it's a pretty decent mod. And now for the big one.
The big one.
The big one. The big one! What is the big one?
Tommy Gunner 321's Cambridge Interiors adds a lot of new interiors in the Cambridge region of the map. If you don't remember, he made a similar mod last month for the Fence District, and this mod is very similar. These aren't giant dungeons or anything, they are just believable interiors to add a little bit more immersion to the place. Of course, the lighting is just as good as the last mod, and some places even have a great atmosphere. It's a very well made mod and a no-brainer to download. And with that, I end this video. This month was mostly dominated by weapon mods. Hopefully we'll see more quest mods next month. As always, thanks for watching and I will shred you in the next one.